schools have struggled to engage in a needs assessment exercise of themselves. Without an accurate needs assessment, you can identify the wrong priorities for intervention. In other words, you can select an evidence-based intervention that's actually far less effective than it needs to be because you picked the wrong area to intervene. And I want to try to suggest some things later to the Commission that would support schools in actually engaging in accurate needs assessment, because that's where it starts. If you get it wrong from the beginning, then everything else follows wrongly, right? And my point is that you can select the best evidence-based intervention in the world, but if it doesn't actually match accurately with the most pressing needs, you're misspending public funds. And to be very honest, most principals, assistant principals, let alone teachers, have no preparation with which to do this properly. So as we're building this great edifice, I want to be very, very pointed about the foundations on which it's built.
How, in your experience, do those decisions, what are the mechanisms to ensure they're made in the most effective way?
Well, often the way they're done is by looking at sort of a general, what I would call general atmospherics. So, for example, there's a sense that communication with parents should be improved, and it almost certainly should, right? But whether that's the top priority or not is not the issue in front of schools. The second thing that happens is that the differential between high-quality curriculum and low-quality curriculum is not addressed because principals aren't aware of the major difference that can create. Thirdly, there's no analysis of the distribution of teaching effectiveness in the school and how to remedy that with support for the weaker teachers, because that's awkward politically, right? It's known in the school. There's always a distribution of teacher effectiveness. But unless you address that, we know you're missing the single biggest factor in all of in-school impact, namely teacher quality. So we can create needs assessment tools that, in a way, press on these critical dimensions. But unless they're built into the reform package, they don't necessarily get used because they go against the grain, in all honesty.
Thank you for that.